Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening to my podcast. I'm your host, Betty. Today, we're going to be talking about Outlander Season 1, Episode 3, The Way Out. But before we get into all of that, there's a couple of things in my last podcast that I missed or that I didn't address. So, the first thing, y'all may have noticed that there's no water in the background. That may or may not be permanent. I'm trying to figure out how to fix all that. So, anyway, I just wanted to address that because I made such a big deal in it with the last episode. So, anyway, and then the other thing, these episodes being so choppy, y'all are going to have to be patient with me. I'm still learning this software. And every time there's a chop or a blip in this episode or in any of the episodes, it's because I goofed. And actually, while recording this, I don't know if it's noticeable because I haven't played it back yet, but y'all may have probably already noticed that there's already some chops. So yeah, it's a blooper when it's choppy. Maybe someday I'll keep those in, or not keep them in, of course, but I'll save them and I'll upload my bloopers so y'all can have a good laugh on my expense. Okay, that would be great. So another thing y'all probably noticed, I am getting these episodes out fast, and I didn't write any notes on this, so I'm probably going to be messing up a lot here. But y'all probably noticed I've been trying to, instead of doing one a week or, 2 a week or whatever, I'm trying to get this Outlander done. Not because I don't like it or I don't want to do it. I just want to get it out there because there's a lot of ground to cover with this show. I mean, we're already in the 5th season and I'm just now covering the 1st season. What I think I'm going to do going forward, I'll probably keep going like I'm going, and once I get to the last episode of season 1, I'm gonna take a break from Outlander, which kind of sounds weird, but I want to get other content. I want to get other subjects going, and I think that'll help me attract more listeners. Not that I don't love the Outlander community. I do. I love you. I love y'all guys, but I want to grow my audience. I'm trying to get a bigger listening fan base, and it's gonna be. I've said this before when I even started this podcast that I didn't want this to be a Outlander centric podcast, and so I need to get it out there to other listeners. I mean, and I'm going to be taking polls or something on my Facebook group that I hope y'all are following. I'll still talk about subjects that y'all want to hear. So probably when I get closer to the end of Outlander season 1, I'll put something up. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more at the end of this episode because I have an idea that I want to do, but it's part of my news segment, so I'm going to wait to get more deep into that when we get there. So anyway, back to the subject of Outlander, the actual episode, not my podcast episode, but the episode, Outlander episode, that I talked about yesterday. There was one scene really that I didn't talk about, and it's an important one. So, what happened in this scene was that Dougal and Claire, the whole hallway exchange, I forgot to bring that up. And I was talking about how Claire was, getting herself into trouble and stuff. That's the actual big scene that she probably really got herself in trouble. She told Dougal that she was leaving, and that's probably where he turned around and told Colum, I don't think you should let this woman leave because I think she's a spy or there's something about her. So, yeah, that's probably the moment that they decided not to let her leave, and Claire was getting herself into trouble without even realizing it, really. Till it was too late. So yeah, that was a big scene that I totally forgot to discuss. And that's my fault because I don't take notes on the actual episode. I try to just do from memory because I think I've said this before. I'm not sure if I did, but I can't take notes and watch the episode at the same time. So I probably miss things, I probably um, will forget things from time to time. I think I've already talked about this, so I'm not going to really go into it. So, but yeah, that's why I do these little discussions before I get into the episode, the current episode, because something I've missed on the first episode, I'll come back and talk about on the next episode. So pretty sure y'all already knew that. I think I explained that before, so we're not gonna. I shouldn't be talking about that right now. So anyway, I got the synopsis right here for the current episode that we're talking about. I'm going to go ahead and read that for you. Claire works diligently as the Mackenzie clan's healer, hoping to gain their trust and perhaps be set free. When Miss Fitz's nephew falls ill, the locals believe it's demonic possession. Claire visits him to see if she can help. She comes into conflict with Father Bain, who has been performing an exorcism to rid the boy of his evil spirits. When she determines that the boy has been poisoned, she administers a cure, but also makes an enemy of the priest. With visiting Galis in the village, Claire learns how thieves are dealt with. Just as she begins to feel there is no hope of ever returning to her husband, she hears a folk tale that describes exactly what has happened to her. Okay, so this episode opens up with Frank and Claire. Claire's going off to the war, and Frank's, having to say goodbye to her, and he's saying how it's backwards and everything. And that must have been really hard for Frank to have to say goodbye to her like that. I'm sure it's hard for anybody to have to say goodbye to their loved ones that have to go off to war. So, but anyway, that's that scene, and then we go into Claire getting dressed. Miss Fitz helping her and everything, and she has that daydream of telling Miss Fitz of where she came from, and asking for help from Miss Fitz, and Miss Fitz not really taking it well, but it come find out she was just in a daydream. It didn't really happen. Myself personally, if she would have actually confided with Miss Fitz, maybe, I don't know, maybe Miss Fitz still would have had the same type of reaction what Claire was imagining, but I don't think, she probably would have had some kind of reaction, like I said, but I don't think it would have been as harsh as Claire expects. Miss Fitz, later on in the episode, of course, we'll find out that Miss Fitz is actually on Claire's side to do things that she needs to do, but at the same time, Miss Fitz is Scottish, and they have their superstitions and stuff, so yeah, maybe a little bit, but I don't think she would have reacted that harshly. So I think the next scene is when Claire is trying to make a good impression on the clan, trying to learn all the she's going through the Beaton. I forget what his full name is, but anyway, she's going through his medicines and things to learn or to see if there's anything that would be helpful to her, and she's trying to make a good impression with Dougal and Colum, maybe so they'll let her leave. And so she's got Angus following her this time instead of Rupert, and she goes into the kitchen and finds out about the little boy that died the night before from illness, or from being possessed by a demon. And so, she was wondering why nobody called her, and they tell her, and why, because of the that place that they feel like it's a cursed place, so she meets Miss Fitz's